This Iraqi church is one of the few places in the world where you can still hear Aramaic, the language believed to be spoken by Jesus Christ. For more than 2,000 years, Christians have lived and prayed here. But now, 3 years after ISIS declared a caliphate and overran much of Iraq, these people are struggling to profess their faith in the very region that gave birth to Christianity. To see what remains, we traveled to Iraq's Nineveh province, a vast region home to Christians for centuries. So people used to live here?
Yeah. There were 2 families.
We're walking through a home in Batnaya, a town once occupied by ISIS. Even though the houses here are abandoned, it's impossible to feel safe knowing what must have gone on in these rooms. We're careful to avoid stepping on anything that could be an explosive device buried beneath the trash.
This is one of many tunnels.
We've asked Father Salar, the priest charged with overseeing the area's reconstruction, to show us ISIS's network of underground tunnels. The militants use the tunnels to go from one home to the next, undetected by surveillance drones and airstrikes. And what does this say here?
Here, it's an invitation to pray, and because with the prayer, they have more power to combat against American enemies.
Before ISIS spent more than 2 years occupying this town, some 6,000 people used to live here. A sign now reads, "No place for the cross in the land of Islam." Batnaya is totally deserted right now. It's really, really quiet. And what's really haunting is the fact that we see IEDs just lying out here unexploded. This centuries-old church is covered in graffiti, and the altar is no longer standing. Most other buildings were hit by airstrikes and mortar rounds, causing an estimated $30 million in damage.
For house for me is no good.
This is where you lived?
Yes. You
Okay. Yeah.
You can
come with me.
The houses still standing in Batnaya look a lot like this. Oh, wow. What ISIS didn't loot, they trashed. Canned food and painkillers litter the floor.
Oh, sleeping here.
Oh, this was your room?
Madam.
Okay.
Yeah, this.
For the first time in 3 years, this family has come back to survey the damage. Do you think that you'll move back here one day?
Ma is here Christian.
Oh,
Ma only people here Christian.
Yeah.
This
عشرة
نسميها يعني تراث مالنا القرية مالتنا يعني ولدنا هنا ونرجع عليها.
American and Iraqi troops liberated the area in October of 2016, but this community still lives in fear. That's because even before ISIS, they were targets. Once a significant minority in Iraq, the number of Christians has shrunk from more than 1 million a little over a decade ago to fewer than 300,000 today. To make things more complicated, these people live in disputed territory. To the north, the Kurds operate a semi-autonomous government. To the south sits the Iraqi Arab Central Government. It's not clear who will have control of these towns in a post-ISIS world. And in the meantime, people here say neither government has come to their aid.
Need to work very hard to reconstruct it. After ISIS, we saw the big damage of the village. It's about 80% damaged.
Are you getting any help from the outside?
Till now, no. We have many organizations that they visited us and many states that they promised us, but till now we don't have nothing.
The feeling of desperation isn't confined to Batnaya. 10 minutes down the road in Teleskuf, there is no electricity or running water. But for many families, being able to return home beats the alternative.
تصور حتى يعني سبح ماكو، ملابس ماكو، أكل ماكو، يعني بخيم ومطر وهواء وبرد يعني، فرجعنا قلنا واحد يقعد ببيته أحسن ولو لو غرفة أحسن من الخيمة.
Several hundred families have moved back, but many are afraid to return.
هسه أنا عندي 8 مقاتلين، عندي هسه ست بنادق.
Kurdish troops guarding the city told us they haven't been given enough resources to defend themselves.
بالنسبة للعسكر محتاجين مولدات، محتاجين أجهزة الاتصالات بيناتنا.
السبب عجز
قليل عندنا، ما متجازين 100%، يعني متجازين تقريبا 20%.
When ISIS came, this family fled to Dahuk. When they returned, they found their farm in ruins and, with it, their livelihood. Do you feel safe here?
والله يعني مو 100%، بس شو تسوي أحسن من تدفع إيجار وتبايت هناك مكان غريب مثلا.
How long do you think before life feels normal again for your kids?
والله أنا أتمنى إنه ترجع، بس يعني حاليا ما متوقعة يعني بعد يعني ما حايسين بأمان بعد يعني نريد يعني ماكو أمان هسه، يعني خايفين لحد الآن.
For now, until their ransacked church can be fully restored, Teleskuf residents gather in this makeshift space every week to pray.
When you pray for Teleskuf, what do you ask God for?
I ask that all the families come back and to have the security and to not repeat this event, and to give guarantee to this family that the life can begin in Teleskuf, because we have to maintain this land, a Christian land, and we have to restart the life.